Welcome to Roll and Review, where we talk about all things nerdy and awesome. I'm Jim.
And I'm Alex.
And we're doing our spoiler discussion of Captain America Civil War.
Alright, if you haven't seen the movie yet and you just want to see a review, click this box right down there. Because this, we're giving you the warning now, there will be spoilers.
Spoiler.
They gone?
I think they're gone.
Well, if you're not gone by now, you've been warned and this is all on you. So, everybody dies, Han Solo comes, kills them all. Yay!
Yep. And then Indiana Jones shows up and Han Solo and Indiana Jones fight.
It was really weird, but...
It was.
Never, okay.
Okay, now we know that everyone should be gone.
Everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone. Including the people who've seen the movie, because they're like, they're idiots.
Yeah. But, again, movie was incredible and...
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's talk about the big things. Spider-Man. In the movie a lot. I loved how he said, Black Widow said, I got a guy. He's downstairs, referring to Black Panther. And he's like, I got a guy. And they jumped to Queens. I was like, yes.
Right.
Perfect. It wasn't just like he's out of nowhere. They set him up, and it was fantastic. I like how Tony Stark was able to figure out, like, you're Spider-Man, dude. Just stop.
Right.
I know you're Spider-Man.
Which totally makes sense. Like, if someone's going to figure out who Spider-Man is, it would be Tony Stark, because he's insanely smart.
Yeah.
Plus, he can hack into anything, so any camera footage of it, oh yeah, he can do that.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, that makes sense. Also, I mean, Spider-Man's just him in the movie
Was amazing.
amazing. His dialogue was good, and it showed his newishness to the, and like, we don't get to really see a lot of not Tony Stark suit. We only really get to see it in the videos and like as it falls out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I was okay with that because
suit that we didn't want to see because it's crap.
Exactly. I did like how it kind of gave reason for the shutters on his eyes because, Tony looks in his homemade goggles and he's like, it helps me focus because I pick up so much. And I went, oh my gosh, that makes sense why his eyes shutter because it's helping him focus on what he needs to.
And one of my favorite lines was, Sam Wilson is like, have you ever been in a fight? There's usually not this much talking, because Spider-Man the entire time just going, jabbering on and on and on, and it was amazing.
Yeah, when he's like, I would love to stay, but, I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so, I'm just gonna do it.
Though I will say, remember the end of Ant-Man? He's like, I'm redeemed, I'm such a good guy now, and I'm in jail.
Yeah.
With Scott Lang. He's like, at the end, I've got my family back. This is amazing. Oh, I'm going to be an Avenger. It's work. Yes. And I'm in jail again. And this is the worst jail. This is middle of the ocean prison jail.
Right.
this is a lot worse than anything else he's done.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's great because, they're like, oh, going to prison. He's like, yeah, okay. Again, sure.
Yeah.
I've been there.
What else is new?
Yeah. So it's like that, like, yep, this dude, he's a convict, which he is, but he's trying to be good.
Though the only thing that I don't exactly get his motivation was Hawkeye's. How he would just up and leave his family, who through Age of Ultron showed that was his highest priority.
Yeah.
How I get it, he's all for personal freedom and that. But again, I feel like he spent so much time at S.H.I.E.L.D. and I didn't really buy him as much as some of the other characters. Like, obviously Sam Wilson, he's by Cap thick and thin.
Yeah.
Makes total sense why he's there. Scarlet Witch, she's being basically held captive because of her powers, so it makes sense why she's there. Ant-Man, because he knows Sam Wilson, so that's the only
pretty
side.
much. Plus, you can tell how much he loves Captain America because he's like, I'm shaking your hand for too long.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, you're Captain America. You're like Steve Rogers.
You're awesome too. As he's going to Scarlet Witch, she's like, I know, you're awesome.
Yeah, you're great. Oh, hey Falcon.
Yeah, just geeking out. It was like,
oh yeah,
and it was great. Winter Soldier obviously is Cap's side because best friends. It's going to happen. He's the whole reason why the conflict takes place.
Well, actually, see, not Winter Soldier on Cap's side, but Cap actually on Winter Soldier's side because I mean, through the first parts of the movie, Cap's like, dude, we can do this without killing anyone. We can do this well, and he's like, screw you, I'm going. I'm getting out of here. Like, I'm gone. Yeah. And Cap's like, come on, dude, come on.
He kept trying, and it just didn't work.
And it wasn't until it was revealed that, like, he's not the only Winter Soldier. There are many others. And Zemo's going for the, like, what we think. Zemo's going for the others, and like, we need to stop him.
And I know we didn't touch too much on Zemo in the movie, because as a villain, he worked his purpose for this movie, because they know what you wanted to see. You wanted to see Iron Man and Captain America on opposite sides going at it. You didn't want them to see them fight a troll at the end.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. He played his part perfectly. He wasn't the big name villain that we all want to see to bring them together or whatever. Like, no, he played his part to put them against each other, and then he left. And he got captured at the end of the movie by
and he
Black
served
Panther,
as a great full circle for Black Panther's story arc going through it. How he was in a lust for vengeance because he thought Winter Soldier killed his father. Turned out Zemo killed his father, and he realized his own lust for vengeance is the exact same he saw in the guy he wanted to stop, and he realized his character development was a great job.
Yeah.
But one thing that I called, I think in the trailer breakdown, that Winter Soldier killed the Starks. I think I called that, or we knew that, or something.
Yeah, I think you called that. Yeah. I think you also, in one of the, either the Roll Review show or whatever we called it when we made this prediction, but the after credit scene, you were right, Spidey. I was thinking it was going to be pushed forward the rest of the MCU, not Spidey, but it was totally Spidey.
Definitely Spidey. And I thought when it come to Winter Soldier killing the Starks, I thought it was going to be much earlier in the film. I thought that was going to be one of Tony's main reasons for really despising Winter Soldier. And I liked what they did with it more than that idea. Tony stuck to his guns and to his ego, which is Tony Stark. He can be kind of wrong. He can he has the best intentions, but he doesn't act on them like perfectly.
Of course.
But here's a reason why it's like, you can't do this. You sided against us, and that's why he was against the beginning. And then he realized the mistakes that happened when he found out about Baron Zemo and everything, all the setups that were going on. He wanted to help his friends. And he goes there, and then Zemo plans it out and shows him the footage of Winter Soldier killing his parents. And such a painful scene to watch, because you just sit there and you feel for him. You're just like, you can feel the sorrow, the bitterness, the anger just welling up inside him. And then when he starts going off on the Winter Soldier and Cap for defending him, you couldn't blame him at all, because he was just like, he said, you don't have to do this. He's like, I don't care. He killed my mother. And you're just like, I feel you. This is how a mother scene should be handled. Yeah. You can't blame a guy for wanting to just take action against the person who murdered his family. You can't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, going off this is one of the, obviously we've seen it. It's one of the emotional scenes of the movie where he's like, I don't care. He killed my mom. Which is interesting because, again, it showed that, he didn't have a great relationship with his dad, because it wasn't he killed my parents. It was he killed my mom. And that was like, all the feels. You're just, you're twisting my heart, and it hurts so good.
And you could tell Tony was not in a good place in this movie.
No.
The guilt from Ultron, obviously. His breakup with Pepper Potts, because Gwyneth Paltrow probably didn't sign a contract, but it actually really worked very well to his story arc, that they were separated, and it hurt him. And just the guilt from everything, and then people blaming him for everything. Which is why he did what he did, because he needed something to help. He needed some accountability so it doesn't happen again. That's what he knows. He doesn't trust himself enough, because he's too poisonous on his own. And it's hard to watch a character feel spiral, like trying to do the right thing, but hurting so much. Yeah,
I think also, I was just thinking about, the motivation behind what he was doing, because he even, said in the movie, he's trying to keep the Avengers together. Yeah. He's trying to keep this family together. Yeah. And I feel like it's almost him trying to, legally keep all of them together, because his own personal life has fallen apart. Where Pepper they're separated, and, he's doing all he can to keep this group together, because that's family for him, and he's trying to hold on to something of that family.
Well, like he said, it's I couldn't give up the suits. Yeah. I didn't want to. When he went through after Iron Man 3, I destroyed the suits, but then you needed it again because of the Hydra, so he got built more, and he came back to being Iron Man, and he's like, I didn't want to give it up. I couldn't. Yeah. And he never felt more at home than when he was Iron Man with the Avengers. Exactly. And he didn't want that to end. And I think that's what hurt him the most in the whole division, is because his family is going away, and he couldn't stand that.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, just the emotions, Peggy Carter.
Yes.
Oh,
it was only a text, that she's dead in her sleep, and everyone was just like, no.
Right? Like before it cut to it being Peggy Carter, like she's gone in her sleep. I was
all knew.
Peggy, no.
Everyone knew, and you're just like, oh, that sucks. Though I will say a little bit upbeat tone. I liked in the beginning with basically I want to say the New Avengers, the mission they did, which caused the accident. Which I like how they did, because in the comics it's some other random team.
It is like the Young Avengers. I'm probably messing up the name, but yeah, it's a group of Young Avengers doing what they can, and I mean in the comic, a villain blows up a school, which I'm totally okay with them not doing.
Yes.
I'm happy that they changed it to what it was, especially because it was very much a American thing in the comics, and this really brought in the whole world.
Because they basically blew up a goodwill team from Wakanda, which is what brought Takada and T'Challa into it, because Wakanda being so reclusive, them finally going out to do something, and then they get basically murdered in a horrible accident.
Yeah.
But they end up getting killed, and which brings them into limelight as being one of the front runners of the Sokovia Accords. To like, this can't happen anymore, and it worked. And you could tell by that team in the beginning that you have Captain America, who's obviously the leader. She's a veteran. Yep. You have Black Widow, who loves to be in her place. She's second in command, doing the awesome stuff that she's doing. She was awesome in the movie as well. You have Falcon, who's like the next one, like most experience wise. He's doing good stuff. And then you have Scarlet Witch, who is the new one on the block, who's just so much raw power, but it's not being able to be channeled correctly. It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was great. One thing I loved that they put in there, and it was a line from Tom Holland, Spider-Man, was he went talking about the shield, like, that thing doesn't follow the laws of physics.
Yeah.
Because there were like a whole bunch of things where like we could pick, if we wanted to make this as like a realistic movie and be like, well, she would have been dead here, and this would have killed them, and this and this and this. And he was just like, that shield doesn't follow the laws of physics. And it just kind of like shine light on like, this is a comic book movie.
But I also liked how in Ultron, Captain America had like the wrist thing that got the shield back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have that here. It was just the straps. But I was like, I thought that was a really good idea, because I was like, why does his shield come back to him? I got it.
Yeah. And that was something cool, but at the same time, like, knowing Captain America's powers, like, he literally can see where he will throw it, where the shield's going to go, and perfectly, like, throw it in the perfect way so it either comes back to him or it goes to where he will be in 5 seconds. So, like, it's that mix of, like, technology, but his powers, too, which was well done.
Yeah, all of it was well done. Giant Man, I've only tried this once in a lab, and I passed out.
And I love, and this is probably because Marvel and LucasArts are owned by the same people, Disney. Hey guys, have you guys ever seen Empire Strikes Back?
This old movie, Empire Strikes Back? Jesus, Tony, how young is this guy? I didn't carbon date him. But he's on the young side. And they took him out like they were watching Empire Strikes Back. They did the tow cable thing around to take him down. I thought it was hilarious.
Absolutely.
But also like how when they first introduced Ant-Man, everyone's like, what the hell is this? This guy shrinks. What is this?
Tic Tac.
Yeah. Or when he gives Captain America, aim for this. When he throws it, and it's a tank. It's a tanker. He's like, oh, I really thought that was a water truck.
Right.
When it basically just blows up on Rhodey, and he's just like, my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Where in previous, movies, you don't have that like jokiness, because most of them have been serious characters. In this movie, you get that great mix of the serious characters and like the serious emotion, the seriousness of the situation. You feel like the gravity of the situation, but you also get those perfectly timed like breaks from that in like oh, I really thought that was a water truck, and then like back to intenseness.
Like, that was some people's complaints about Age of Ultron, how the humor felt a little bit more forced because it kind of took away from the situation. I thought the humor in this was flawless. It was right where it needed to be. It was in the right amounts. It didn't take away from any of the emotion or the weight or the stakes of the movie. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it's saying something when I mean, the jokey characters were those brought in for the last fight because, I mean, really, Ant-Man and Spider-Man really didn't have much to do with what was going on in the movie previously, so they didn't have this strong emotional battle.
Yeah, they were just kind of, well, I'm on this side. Like Spider-Man's was, I've got to perform really well for Iron Man. He's gonna help me out. Like, I have to do this. And Ant-Man was like, well, I got called up. This is my big shot. I've got to do this too.
Yeah,
like it was, and he doesn't like Starks anyway, so that
exactly
definitely easier way to have him on be against him and then. It was great, like how when Hawkeye and Black Widow were going, it's like, we still friends? Depends on how hard you hit me.
Yeah. I also think, so in the comic books, Spider-Man's the one that flips sides. I thought it was really interesting that Black Widow is the one who's stopping T'Challa from
taking out
the Quinjet with Bucky and Cap in it, because I was like, that's a great twist, because us comic people are like, all right, well, is Spider-Man gonna flip? But it really wouldn't make sense here with the way they've set this up. But the fact that like it's Natalia Romanoff,
and it made a lot of sense for her character too, because she has such stakes on both sides.
Exactly,
and everything worked. The only part I said I complained about was it wasn't like I am a great evil villain. I'm the big. This villain was to set up the two sides against each other, and it did. Like the culminating battle, which you can see back there, with basically the shot straight from the comic book. It would hurt watching them all just wail on each other. I almost thought Cap killed himself when he dug his shield into Tony to take out his arc reactor to basically stop the Iron Man suit. Just his head wounds, it looked like there was some shrapnel in it, so I thought he was going to die there. Because when they killed Crossbones in the beginning, I was like, okay, this did not go where I thought it was going.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, they're going to fight, something's going to happen, he's going to get away, so there's going to be a huge thing with Crossbones going on. No, and I'm dead, and I'm causing the whole thing to start off, but...
And see, in that last scene, that's where I was worried Iron Man was going to die, because he gets thrown down, and on those concrete like pillar things, and you see it where he hits the edge of it is like right on his neck, so I'm like, Cap could have just broke his neck, and then he's like wailing on him. I'm like, and he might just be like, and he might have killed him.
He takes his helmet off, he takes the Iron Man head off, and he goes to basically it looks like he's going to do a killing blow, basically take off his head, but no, he crushes the suit. But it's just like Iron Man basically beat down Bucky, and obviously the reason why, and he wanted to keep going. He wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
And Captain America had to stop him because Bucky is his best friend, and he knows it wasn't him who did all the horrible things, but you could tell just when Captain America just stopped the fight. It was over, he limped away.
Yeah. And it didn't have this forced like, fight's over, now we're friends. It was like there's still there's still something here that will have to get resolved.
Yeah.
That relationship isn't perfect. That relationship isn't better than it was before.
The relationship was strained, but it wasn't lost because both of them knew they didn't want to kill each other.
Exactly.
Cap holding back the last second just to basically subdue Tony, and Tony telling him how many times, stay down, just stop.
Yeah, they showed that they didn't want to kill the other person.
No.
And they were doing whatever was necessary to end the fight.
And I loved how at the end when Steve sent the package to Tony, including the phone to get a hold of him, I thought that was perfect because he knows he doesn't want Tony on the outside.
Yeah.
He knows Tony has to do it in his own way, and they're going to get there in Infinity War. But I think it was a perfect way to have the relationship. We know what just happened, but we're still here. We aren't enemies. We are friends. It just, what happened.
Exactly. And it was that, if you need me, if you need us, if you need me, I am here.
And it was great how T'Challa basically did a mass breakout of the Watersea prison to get everyone out at the end. I thought that was really cool how they had him in Wakanda. Yeah. And he's like, Captain America, if they find out, and T'Challa's like, they're not going to, no one's coming to Wakanda.
Let them try to come.
Yeah, come on. No.
That was awesome. I mean, the T'Challa's change from...
I love his claws, by the way.
His claws
the retractable
so cool.
claws, I was like, his suit is just awesome. Like a full vibranium suit. That's just amazing.
And I like how they did this scene through the tunnel where it wasn't just because the way it looked in the trailer was like he's just gonna catch up and smack it, but like no, there was 3 parties there. Like he used the cars, he used everything around to catch up to the guy.
Basically, up until that point when they got locked up after that scene, I felt like I was watching a Jason Bourne movie. Like, it was just so just intense and thrilling. And the entire chase, them not knowing who he is, it was...
Oh, yeah. It was a fantastic movie. I'm so glad Marvel did it right. And
they did it right.
And I'm not surprised, because Marvel has done movies right.
And that's what I think why this one works so much is because we were so invested in these characters compared to Batman v Superman. When I don't want to compare the two, but they're so similar, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
And just like I didn't get into the two sides of Batman v Superman, but here, I just wanted it to stop. I wanted to be like, can't we all just be friends? Stop.
Right.
Like I wanted to. I loved seeing the action, but I wanted them all to be on one side.
Exactly.
I hated seeing them go against each other.
Yeah.
But I loved it at the same time.
Exactly. Even us, as just viewers of this story going on, we were invested in characters on both sides, and even we were like, just keep the family together, man. Just keep it together.
And like. Everyone was like Team Cap all the way, and I've been like, I like Tony Stark. I've always identified with Tony a bit, how he can be his own personal enemy, and how like I've always identified with Tony Stark a lot more. So I felt like the outsider a little bit, being against him, and having people who kind of come over like, yeah, he has an ego, but he's not as bad as we thought he was going to be in this. Definitely made me feel a bit better, but it was so conflicting because the two halves of me were the two halves fighting. I felt this inside of me because I understand both sides, and I feel both sides, and I just feel the clash.
Oh yeah, and I've been Team Cap all the way because I identified with like, him choosing like the right to freedom, their freedom of choice to do what they think is best, and not just being told where to go, but also being told they can't go somewhere when they feel like that's the thing that they need to be doing. But I think I said this in the spoiler-free version of the review. No matter what side you chose, you're not wrong.
Yeah, there is no right and wrong here. There is just two different ways of doing things. And both are right, as the Sokovia Accords were not perfect by any means. I actually agreed with Cap when he was about to sign and ask for safeguards, and Tony was agreeing until he found out what they were doing to Wanda. And then that's when he just lost it, and he's like, no, we can't do this, no.
Yeah.
I like Martin Freeman in this movie. I thought he was awesome. Like, we weren't really sure what he was going to be doing. But him just being that, I don't want to say bureaucrat, but that's kind of what he is. But he was funny. He was great. It's good to see both cast of Sherlock now in the MCU.
Right.
Having Cumberbatch and Freeman.
Maybe they'll meet up and Doctor Strange. That'd be funny.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. That's the best thing I can say about this. I am very, very, very excited for the future.
Yep. They did this movie well. It draws us further into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we want to see more because it was so good. Like, I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see all these characters more, and they're gonna give it to us. They're gonna give us all these characters and more.
And there was kind of that furthering of a possible relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision a bit.
Yeah,
they didn't come. It wasn't a romance yet. There was no romance in this movie besides the one little kiss that Cap and Sharon Carter kissed,
which was perfect because that kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does.
As a comic fan, I'm like, yeah, those two.
And it just makes sense. You watch it, you're like, you can see why those two would want to be together, and it makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's just, and I love the reactions from the car that they're giving him as he turns around.
He's like, come on, guys.
Or just how Sam really doesn't like Bucky at all.
No.
He's like, can you move the seat up? No, I can't.
Bucky's like, fine, I'll go over to the other side of the car then.
Or at the end when they fight, it's Winter Soldier and Falcon who are fighting Spider-Man at the start of the airport scene, and he's webbing him down, and Sam finally gets him with his remote thing is finally what basically takes out Spider-Man, and Winter Soldier's like, why didn't you do that earlier? And Sam's was like, I really hate you.
Right. And I think so. One thing that I really liked, so like Falcon in the comics has a bird, like a bird that he can see through the eyes of, which is an interesting power. Well, he doesn't have that.
He has his goggles things, which kind of
he has his goggles, but it wasn't that like okay, he's Falcon and he has like this drone, but they even like they let it have the name. Of his bird ring. And I was like, okay, that's really cool.
Don't thank me. And Clint Blackwood is like, I'm not thanking that thing.
Exactly. He's like, come on.
The thing has a name. It's Red Wing.
And that was perfect. So I was like, there's a relationship there in the comics, and you can kind of tell like he has made this relationship with this tech that he's kind of built.
And it's going to be seeing Doctor Strange, how it's going to fit in everything. I'm really excited for Ragnarok now. Hulk is the two they make a mention. Well, where's Thor and Hulk? Like it was their fault that Hulk decided to just abandon everyone and leave because he thought he was too dangerous. And Thor is in Asgard. Like, why would you hold like? Yeah, we know where he is. He's in Asgard, and do you want to try to stop him? Like,
I just like I just like the comment like where Tony was talking about it, and he's like, "Do you really think Hulk would be on our side?" And like. Oh, you're right. Hulk would probably be on the other side. Oh,
Hulk would probably not want to take a side in this. He'd be like, I'm just going to go. Bye. None of you can stop me anyway.
Yeah, either that or, I mean, he's left because he chose to. It was his choice. And if he was forced to become the Hulk, and not on his own will, but like to go do this because someone told him to, like that seems... in opposition of what his character in the cinematic universe has shown.
Like, one thing I did like in Age of Ultron, when they didn't activate him unless they absolutely needed him. Like, he always stayed behind. It's like, I'm not going to go Hulk unless it's a code green. Like, saying, shit's hit the fan so bad that we need the Hulk.
Exactly.
I really love this movie. Tell us, I want to have a discussion with some of the people. Tell us what you thought about it. We're probably going to go see it again next week, because I can't wait to digest it again. Just leave some comments and give us a like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate all of our subscribers. You guys are making this possible for us to do. It really helps us keep pushing on. So thank you so much, and thanks for coming by.